ace match or even seen it go the way of also Jersey. I haven't seen much of YoungYakov in a while. But YoungYakov versus GunGFuBanDa is going to be an interesting one just because GunGFuBanDa is so hit and miss. To be honest, like GunGFuBanDa, he's either on fire or he's not. Like GunGFuBanDa, he can look like one of the best Protoss players in Europe, or he can be shut down early on by what seems to be a lesser player. So it's really hard to kind of get a gauge on GunGFuBanDa's current skill, just because, like, again, he's not the most active and not the most consistent player. Likewise, YoungYakov, also it feels like he stepped away for a while, but here we go, we're just jumping right in. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have YoungYakov for Platinum R8. And in the top right, we have GunGFuBanDa for Berserker eSports. Let's go. Let us go. Again, YoungYakov, it feels like he wasn't too active last year. 2023, it feels like we lost some of our young Zerg up-and-coming players. You know, I'm reminded of Soul Spirit, for example. Soul Spirit's the big one, who was a really young player, had a lot of potential, and did like quietly retire, which was a bit of a shame. And I thought the same of YoungYakov. I was really concerned that he had also quietly retired, where he just kind of stepped away and stopped competing. But no, as of the past couple of months, this year in 2024, YoungYakov, he came back. He started becoming active again in online tournaments. Took a while for him to kind of regain his skill, but he's definitely back, and he's, you know, being quite regular again in these online tournaments, which I do appreciate. Like, YoungYakov has always had a lot of potential as a player. Nowadays, not so young anymore. It's been a couple of years since he's been YoungYakov. Soon looking to evolve into adult Yakov or old Yakov. We're getting there. Until then, though, we're rushing into the gold. Let's go. Gold base is being taken. And this is one of the big features of this map of Post-Youth, is that we have the gold base available. We can take advantage of it. We can use it to go for an all-in and be hyper aggressive. Really, the ball is in GunGFuBanDa's court. How do we punish this? GunGFuBanDa will scout this with his probe eventually. He'll get an eye on what's going on. We'll realize what's happening, and do we go into a Twilight Council follow-up with Glaive Adepts? Do we open up Stargate and Oracle and just harass with Oracle Vanilla Adepts? Worker's going to be transferred over. Also, I'm like making an assumption that GunGFuBanDa is going to scout this first, but I believe GunGFuBanDa, he skipped his probe scout, right? I believe he did skip his probe scout, so GunGFuBanDa is playing a little bit greedy. He's playing in the dark, and this means he cannot reactively throw down his tech. So it's going to be a Stargate opener, but GunGFuBanDa is unaware as to what YoungYakov is up to. So our Protoss player is unaware, and now moving out with our Adept. Elderly Yakov, exactly. We're not there yet. We're getting there, Papi. We're getting there. Kappa. As Adept, it does move out across the map. Slips into the mineral line. One drone goes down already. Not a bad pickoff, but ooh, we do get surrounded. We do get shut down. One Adept for one drone is not the trade we were looking for, but at least GunGFuBanDa is aware. And where does this lead us? Now, it is not uncommon to go for a Stargate opener into a third base into a fast Twilight Council, where we cut Oracles maybe at 2, so only make a second Oracle, then we can afford a fast Twilight Council into Glaives. Or we can go into a fast Blink, into a more defensive style instead, into AK Blink Stalker as a follow-up for an all-in. I'm curious how GunGFuBanDa does respond. For the time being, just settling on in. And yeah, soon to expand and take a third. Meanwhile, that's a very early Roach Warren out of YoungYakov. Yeah, 3-minute 43-35-ish Roach Warren timing. Lings dive in. They don't quite get the probe. Nice control out of GunGFuBanDa. Saves the worker, throws down the third. There's that Roach Warren that's almost done. And YoungYakov should be going for an all-in. Oracle moves out, catching a couple of drones, not bad. 3 workers go down. Another Oracle on the way. We are getting up to triple Oracle. But I'm still concerned here for GunGFuBanDa. We got a 5th drone. Has some good worker damage. But here come the Roaches. The Roaches are on the way. Now we throw down the Twilight Council. At a standard timing, against an all-in like this, though, it might just be too late. Queens are welding across the map. Roaches as well. Shield battery just now begins at the third base. And we need to pull off a miracle defense. Can we survive this? Can we hold on? We do catch an overlord. Supply blocking YoungYakov. Let's go. Queens are revealed. Now we realize what's going on. Additional shield batteries on the way. Gateways are still in production. GunGFuBanDa, it feels like we are not quite prepared for this. Ravagers have arrived. Going to be piling down those pylons. Shield batteries are done. And we have 20 Lings in production. They're rushing across the map. Nice target firing here with the Oracles. They almost get the Ravager. Almost. Lings have arrived. It's going to be a slow siege here. Chip nibbling away at the army. There we go. Overcharge is popped. And we go for the shield battery. Shield battery does get low. We do snipe 2 of the Ravagers. Shield battery goes down. And here come the Lings. Remember, there were 20 Lings moving out across the map. We're getting on top of the Stalkers. Piles will be connecting. 1 Stalker falls. We're down to 4. Again, it's still so close here between these 2 players. We barely warp in 2 more Stalkers. 1 goes down. Lings have arrived, and there's no blink. Oh, without blink, more Stalkers are falling. We're down to 4. Down to 3. 3 Stalkers left. The Oracles, they're out of energy. And we're shutting this all down. There's nothing left. We're down to 1 Stalker. And now 0. We have control of the third base. Now, from here, we can drone. From here, YoungYakov can drone up. And there we go. We see 1 drone on the production tab. YoungYakov supply blocked. So we can't actually make much more. But now we're waddling back home. That's all we needed. Now, we didn't just kill the third. For a moment there, I thought the wall was open. But we didn't just kill the third base as we're pushing into the main. We killed so many Stalkers. Now we barely have an army. The shield battery's not ready. No shot. No shot, baby. We were droning up behind this. We bust into the main. We catch the Adepts. And now we're pushing in. There we go. We have the overcharge. GunGFuBanDa will hold on. We'll survive this. Oracles get across the map. They catch a couple of drones. But bearing in mind, YoungYakov is on 3 bases. One of them is the gold, so he has even more minerals available to him. And he can just macro from here. Can it settle in? And can even build up once again and knock down the third with a later timing. GunGFuBanDa does have Blink, about tap +1. Being very active with those Stalkers. Now, can we punish YoungYakov? He has been droning. Very few Lings. Oh, we're coming in for the surround. We're trying to look down the army. Oof. Catching a Stalker. Catching 2. 2 Stalkers go down. Forcing the blink. And YoungYakov has plenty to defend. Plenty in position. Oh, we do snipe a Queen. Good pickup. Queen goes down. More Stalkers rallying across the map. GunGFuBanDa being hyper aggressive here, and he needs to be. We still need more damage. Not denying mining time with the gold. Say that. Getting 2 workers. Lings diving in once again. Oh, as we bleed out another 2 Stalkers. Not the trades we're looking for. 4th hatchery's on the way. YoungYakov still committing to more Ling main road Ravager. Ling road Ravager. And we are catching a couple of Queens. Like, these are still relatively efficient trades for GunGFuBanDa. As long as he doesn't bleed out any Stalkers, like, this is worthwhile. This is okay. Lings move out across the map. Another Queen gets sniped. And almost another. Some solid blinks here. Out of GunGFuBanDa does pull away. Stasis catching some roaches. We can take a fight. Oh, but we're running out of shields. Once again, we have to back off. YoungYakov still in a low drone count, and this is going to be impacting him here. Squeezing out a couple of drones. GunGFuBanDa taking up into a bait into Colossus. Battle does connect. And we punish this. 4 Stalkers go down. Ay, ay, ay. Doesn't sound like a lot, but with this kind of disrupted opener, we're bleeding out too much. And YoungYakov, he commits. Does move out. Forces another warp in. YoungYakov able to drone up. Getting up to 4 base saturation, or really 3 base saturation. We are getting there. And it feels like we've just bled out a few too many Stalkers here. Can't quite afford that first Colossus. Or Disruptor. The Bay is done. Bay is done. Once again, YoungYakov, he's so quick to punish these blinks. They do come in from behind, catching another Stalker. Another 2, another 3. Yeah, YoungYakov just chasing this down. Oh, we're bleeding out too much, and GunGFuBanDa, he's cornered. There's no way out of this. Even if we recall, we're going to bleed out a lot of Stalkers. Oof. Yeah, we are going to be cornered. There's the recall. Biles will connect. GunGFuBanDa racing back home. Disruptors are on the way. First one is halfway done. With a good Nova, we can hold on. Okay, first Disruptor has arrived. Purification Novas are going to be available. At the same time, Zelarama across the map is going to force YoungYakov back home. This is what GunGFuBanDa needed. He does get some breathing room. Is forced back. Oh, the hatchery getting quite low. But we should be able to save it. Prism diving into the main. Hydrogen finishing up. YoungYakov still droning. Still a very tense situation just because of the lower drone count of YoungYakov. He can still go either way. There's that first Disruptor. Nova going up, zoning away the Ravagers. We do catch one. Oh, but we get the Disruptor. No! Disruptor goes down. Not the best trade from GunGFuBanDa again. Unable to build up that Disruptor count. Does focus on the Ravagers. Not bad. Not bad as GunGFuBanDa is going for the gold. Still pinned back at home. Yeah, YoungYakov just constantly in his face and going for the Nexus. Wiles will connect. The Nexus is cancelled. Is tonight. Disruptors are coming in. Oh, Shelsonovas! I think one connected. Moku, calm down. Does look like we had one connection, maybe a slight graze on the army. Back at home, the Prism is going to be defended against. To deflect the army. Stormers on the way, getting into immortal production. Gold base being retaken, but the reality is that YoungYakov is about to max out. Maxing out with Hydras now. Nice catch from GunGFuBanDa, zoning away the army. Shaving off roaches. Good control here from GunGFuBanDa. Never going off once again. Connects with those roaches. Again, GunGFuBanDa has the more efficient army. He has so much more micro potential with Disruptors and Blink Stalkers. But GunGFuBanDa has the economy, and we're taking up towards a Hive and towards Lurker Tech as well. Lurkers are on the horizon. Are we coming from behind? A massive flank here from YoungYakov. Beautiful setup. Shuts down 3 Disruptors. And that may just be it. Storm is done. High Templar coming in. Storms on the links. Massive storms. But once again, we sneak up on them. We force them off in the Archon. Archon goes down. Only Stalkers remain. Once again, if GunGFuBanDa was able to retain all those disruptors, then maybe we can still make a game out of this and fight back, but things are looking bleak. Things are looking bleak now for GunGFuBanDa. We catch out the Immortal. Not like this. Retains the Stalkers, but only the Stalkers. GunGFuBanDa now just going pure Ling Hydra. Prism goes down. We're ready for Lurkers. And there it is. 4 Lurkers on the way, and we're just not ready for Lurker play. We don't have Immortals, no Sky Toss, no Archons. We have Storm, which helps, but Lurkers will reign supreme. Decent Storm. At the front of the army. Zealot run by into the main. The storms are good. We can't quite just dive on the army. We can't collapse in. The army's being forced back home. Zealots in 3 mineral lines. Okay. First Lurker goes down. 23 drones. Oh my god. YoungYakov. Woefully underprepared. 26, 27 drones falling. There's still that one hero zealot in the natural. Crippling the economy. YoungYakov down to 56, now 61 drones. Ay. A handful of zealots in a dream. Let's go. Now we built up towards 2 Immortals. Not bad. The Lurker count isn't too high. I mean, GunGFuBanDa is still heavily down in supply here. It does land a decent Storm. But yeah, GunGFuBanDa not going down without a fight. Oh, the Lurkers are within range. Oof. Yeah, they're within range of the mineral line. We have to evacuate. So I'll take another 8 drones before going down. YoungYakov, numbers-wise, should still be able to overwhelm. Army tries to go in. We have control of the gold. 7 probes go down, and we just rotate over towards the north. We collapse on the Stalkers. No storms. The storm barely doesn't quite connect. Not the connection we were hoping for. Focus down the high town, but we have the high ground. Not a bad storm on the Hydras. The storms are pretty good. But the Lunkers, they've made it, Papi. The Lunkers have arrived. We're just cutting GunGFuBanDa off from his own main. Oof, the army just stuck outside at the 3rd. And we can just go straight for the main base. We have options. As GunGFuBanDa is out of position. Yeah, Lurkers just bullying their way forward. GG gets called, and YoungYakov will take game number 1. But that was quite a long game. Just bearing in mind, winding it back a little bit here, this started with an all-in. It started with losing his 3rd early on, but here we go. We're diving into game 2. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have YoungYakov for Platinum R8. And in the top left, we have GunGFuBanDa for Berserker eSports. Whew. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, we also had the moment with GunGFuBanDa killing 27 drones across the map with that Zealot run by, which was crazy. Was able to help even up the economy, but like tech-wise and army-wise, it was still in favor of YoungYakov. It still was not enough to bring GunGFuBanDa back. But again, impressive nonetheless. As YoungYakov is going for a hatch gas pull. Looks to be a standard opener out of our Zerg player. Does look to be a standard opener here. Likewise, GunGFuBanDa getting into his own gate expand. And I'm sure GunGFuBanDa is going to be feeling a lot more comfortable loading into Oceanborn. I mentioned before that something that we love about WTL is the fact that we force some of these more unorthodox maps. But that's also something that I'm sure the players are not too fond of. Like, I'm sure many of them do veto post... I mean, they do veto post-youth, and they have very little experience on it as a result. So being forced to scatter and punish the gold can be a difficult thing. GunGFuBanDa is settling in. And we'll get eyes on his opener. As a reminder, last game, GunGFuBanDa did go for a triple Oracle opener into a third into +1 Blink Stalkers. I imagine he's going to want to do the same, so we'll keep an eye out for any kind of deviation from GunGFuBanDa. Likewise, YoungYakov. 3 base all-ins are not unheard of on Oceanborn. They're actually relatively commonplace. We've seen it a lot, especially from the Korean Zerg players. I wouldn't be surprised if YoungYakov acted a similar way. We spoke about this in the previous series with Thermal about how vulnerable the third base is on this map. Just because there is no high ground advantage, there is no ramp leading into the third. The ramp to get onto the same point of elevation is at the center of the map. So we've seen a lot of German taxis. We've seen a lot of, you know, like Warsaw subways. A little different variation of Zerg all-in against Protoss players. So we'll see if YoungYakov is one to embrace that. We'll keep an eye on his drone count. We'll keep an eye on his roach timing. Assuming he goes roaches. For now, we're calming down. Sure, we have a wave of Lings on the way, but that's just to defend against the Adepts. And to threaten the third base. Yeah, with 14 Lings, the goal here is to shut down the first Adept and also head across the map, delay the third as best as we can. GunGFuBanDa opening up Stargate, Oracle's on the way, Lings are moving out. And can we delay the third? The probe has been spotted. Oracle moves out. Lings going for the dive. They do force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. Adept is surrounded. We're going for the probe, and it looks like, we don't quite get it. Rotating back in. Oracle's running out of energy. Nice movement here out of YoungYakov. It does pull away. Pulling back in. Third base has been thrown down. We don't delay. We did get an Adept, and it looks like we will get a second Adept as well. Second Adept has fallen. Go for the Stalker. Stalker does get in position. Pulling back to the probe. We're not stopping Link production. we have 12 more Links on the way. I don't know if we need that many here. I mean, the second Oracle does spend its energy. Link's going back in. This is not worth it unless we force a cancel. We're getting us up the shield battery, getting us up the Adept as well. Shield battery will go down. Oracle's out of energy. Can we get the Adepts? We can. More importantly, can we force a cancel? Pylon is going to go down. We're going to get the Pylon. We get on top of the base, but a third Oracle has arrived. And we should defend. Not before killing the Pylon, though. We're committing. Oh, bold move. We commit force to cancel. It's too much. Oh, my God. We barely forced the cancel. And now that was worth it. That was fully worth it. We invested heavily here into this Ling aggression. But what do we get? We got like 3 or 4 Adept. Yeah, we got 4 Adept kills. We got a probe. We got a shield battery, 2 pylons, and a cancel on the third base. Now we need to calm down. Now we drone. Now YoungYakov is calming things down. He's droning up, getting a lair, taking his gases. But that was totally worth it. What has this done? This has kept GunGFuBanDa pinned back at home. It has wasted Oracle energy as well, forced to defend, forced to activate against the Lings. Adepts have fallen left and right, and this means that the worker count, the mineral lines of YoungYakov are safe and sound. For the most part. Oh, that is 4 Oracles. Never mind. We've built up towards 4 Oracles. That is a bold move out of GunGFuBanDa. Does dive in. He can one-shot drones. 3 already. 4. 4 drones go down. So have 2 more Oracles towards the left-hand side. Now GunGFuBanDa has potential, and he needs to get damage done with this. So far, so good. We're hoping for more, though. We are hoping for more. Lings, they threaten the bases. They don't get much done. Pulling back. To pull back. YoungYakov, he's got a safety Roach Warren. Hydra Dead is on the way. Likewise, GunGFuBanDa trying to stabilize himself on his 3-base setup. Blink halfway done, +1. Robo. You can see the build order of GunGFuBanDa has been disrupted. Like, because of the extra warp-ins, because of the 4th Oracle, because of the late 3rd base, this has impacted the build of GunGFuBanDa quite negatively. And now things are not lined up. The production for the Protoss is looking a little bit wonky. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa, ooh, does get caught out. Bleeding out an Oracle. YoungYakov cutting workers at 3 base saturation. That is 65 drones. We do have a 4th for Larva, and I'm curious if we drone up or if we just focus on Ling Hydra. Because right now, we're just making nothing but Ling Hydra. Plus on range on the horizon, Hydra speed, Roach speed as well. Sorry, Hydra range. 4th hatchery is done, and we're not droning. Yeah, we're cutting workers at 65 at 3 base saturation. Ling's coming in a little bit too soon. They do force the Oracles to activate their beams. And the army is amassing. Yeah, YoungYakov, he's ready to push in. Now, thankfully, we have cannons and shield batteries on the way. GunGFuBanDa, he's getting ready for a push. He's getting ready for an assault. Storm is halfway done. But YoungYakov is building up a massive army. And again, YoungYakov has not droned in the past minute. And he will still refuse to drone. Getting ready to move out. Collapsing the army. Big stasis. Does go up. Catching a lot of Lings. Cloud's going to be thrown down. Hydra slowly started stepping forward as well. Hydra speed just now finishing up. Big storms on the high. Oh my god. Massive storms. They do connect on the Hydras, but we catch the Immortal. Overcharge is popped. The Immortal barely does escape. Miles going to be connecting, but it feels like we're bleeding out too much. Yeah, YoungYakov is running out of steam. We were so ready for this with cannons, with shield batteries, with that overcharge, with the stasis traps. 4th base is denied. There's no 4th for GunGFuBanDa. But he's holding quite well, and now YoungYakov, he's droning. The Zerg player is now forced to drone. He knows he cannot break the Protoss, not anymore. GunGFuBanDa throwing down more shield batteries. A little bit unnecessary, but it's okay. Additional shield batteries on the way. GunGFuBanDa a little bit scared. Respecting the army. I don't blame him. From here, YoungYakov, he's saturating his 4th, throwing down an Infestation Pit, a Lurker Den, getting ready for Hive Tech, getting ready for a Hydra Lurker Viper. That was a very nice defense here from GunGFuBanDa. Very nice defense. He does need a 4th, though. Does need another base. Okay, 4th is on the way. And Yakov rotating around. Slow lot run by won't achieve too much, unfortunately. It is slow. It's going to be slow here as we have additional zealots on the way across the map as well. Fleet Beacon, we're getting ready for a Sky Toss. Okay. Interesting. I'm a little bit torn about this decision, as the Prism takes a lot of damage. Will escape. What I'm torn by here is that it does feel a little bit delayed. YoungYakov will be the first to really hit a power spike as he does shut down the Prism. But basically, YoungYakov is about to max out. He's about to max out here with Mass, Hydra Lurker Viper, 3 Vipers on the way. It's going to be a tough hold for GunGFuBanDa. He needs to weather the storm until he can get into those carriers. He's relying on double robot production. GunGFuBanDa is banking resources. Okay, there we go. We have 3 cannons on the way. Mothership plus 3. It's not going to be an easy hold for the Protoss. And Yakov waiting for his range upgrade. Soon to kick in. Going for some drop lord harass at the same time. This 4th looking quite fortified here, so we have to kind of pick and choose. Do we hit the 4th? Do we hit the 3rd? Do we go for the natural? How do we engage? How do we push in? Yeah, Zealots are shut down. Oh, this field of stasis traps is going to make things difficult to push into. Just fanning out some lings. GunGFuBanDa turning up quite nicely, but here come the yoinks. Storm of the lurkers, we do abduct 2 of those immortals. And we're breaking through the line of cannons. Army is out of position. Cannons are going down, lings, they do flood in. Lurkers behind the natural. Good storms. Oof. Very nice storms. Zealots are coming from behind. These lurkers are exposed, and we have to get the hell out of here. A big chunk of lurkers go down. The start of the fight was looking good for YoungYakov, but we did lose a lot of key units there. And we only get 8 probes in the natural. Whew. All things considered, decent defense here by GunGFuBanDa. He holds. He holds. Mothership is out. Carrier production underway. We are quick here to replace our pylons, cannons, and shield batteries. And GunGFuBanDa, he has done it. He has survived until SkyToss. And now, suddenly, this Spire is looking a little bit late for YoungYakov. The Spire just now begins. And GunGFuBanDa is soon to move out. He's maxed. GunGFuBanDa has maxed out. And YoungYakov needs to slow down this push. I feel like the best way for that is to threaten a counterattack, but the Revelation spots the army. Zealots are moving out. Lurkers attempting to maintain map control. I had to swarm into the main. I mean, this is a good way to force the Protoss army to return home. GunGFuBanDa, have we noticed? Okay, we do warp in. The Nidus, I believe it will finish. Do we have lurkers? We do. 3 lurkers barely burrow in time. And this will force back some of the SkyToss. These Vipers are off on their own. I feel like we have to get the hell out of here. As thankfully, I don't think we're going to be losing our Vipers. They do pull back. Bleeding out a couple of Hydras. Lurkers, really what's important about what just happened, the Lurkers, they didn't get too much damage. They got 6 probes, but they bought time. They forced the army back home. They bought some time. High Templar are yoinked. Yoinking the mothership, but there's not enough anti-air. Oh, the yoink does nothing. The Lurkers are on their own. And GunGFuBanDa can break through. And not enough anti-air. This time we have enough Hydras. Does cost us a second yoink. Hydra's still amassing. How many High Templar do we have behind this? I can see 1 with energy. So not too many storms. Without storms, the Hydras do pose a threat. Lurkers do burrow. Big storm on the Hydras. But I think there's still that just 1 High Templar. We need another warp in. We need more storms. Meanwhile, the Spire is done. You know, we bought time. Spire is now done. Corruptors are on the way. +1 air attack as well. There's still that 1 High Templar in the middle of the army. I'm so concerned that we didn't reinforce. There we go. The final storm. But there it is. 4 more High Templar coming in. Let's go. We have plenty of storms. Yeah, the reinforcements have arrived. Lurker drop across the map. Does deny some mining time. A quick reaction out of GunGFuBanDa. He does pull away. 17 drones going down. We do snipe a base. Where are the Hydras? Here we pull back. I was like, the carriers, they can just A-move. Lurkers will back up. The Corruptor count is building up. Lurkers in towards the 3rd. Oh, this is a really messy defense for GunGFuBanDa. Bleeding out a lot. We'll shut down 1 of the Lurkers. Force the storm back at home. At the same time, we're diving on forward, but the Corruptors, they get on top of the carriers. 1 and 2 carriers going down. There's only 2 left. Now 0 left. The Lurkers, they take care of the ground as well, and GunGFuBanDa loses everything. Oh my god. The entire army goes down. We're still racing to defend back at home, and suddenly, YoungYakov, we're going for a massive counterattack. Now there is no Greater Spire. So these Corruptors, they can't morph into Broodlords. So they're not the best use of supply at the moment. But thankfully, GunGFuBanDa is still making Tempest. So Corruptors, they have their place. Lurkers pushing forward. Oh, we catch out the Archons. And the Archons get surrounded. The Immortals as well. We get a decent storm on these Lurkers. But YoungYakov has momentum. Does have momentum on his side. Corruptors are looking for a base. They're looking for a Nexus. Might find one. Oh, they find a Tempest instead. Good pickup. One Tempest goes down. Back at her, we have a second Spire getting into 2-1 upgrades. And Lurkers, they hit top right, and GunGFuBanDa is just getting pulled apart. He was looking impressive earlier. He had maxed out, but that was just a blundered fight, and sometimes one wrong fight can just escalate out of control. Especially with an expensive Skytoss army, or just an expensive Protoss army. Storms anyway. The Hydras, we catch more of the Tempest. And without any Skytoss, the Lurkers, they can do well for themselves. The Immortal count's getting higher, true. Something that still has to be respected. Yakov pulling back. We have the high ground. Ooh, massive spine shots going off. Immortal's trying to push in. Now Yakov almost got surrounded. Does pull away. The armor supplies are still quite similar to each other. Like GunGFuBanDa can still try and take a fight. But not with all this side defense. Greater Spires on the way. And that's it on the coffin. Catch an Immortal, and we are not ready for Broodlords. What's the answer to Broodlords? I mean, usually Skytoss, right? Carriers and Tempest would be amazing, but we lost all of it. Which means all it takes is a handful of Broodlords, and we can just bully GunGFuBanDa back home. For now, the Lunkers. For now, we're just focusing on Lurker production. Immortal's not able to break through. Big spine shots going up. YoungYakov is maxed out, so the Greater Spire is done, which means the next fight, after we can morph in Broodlords, we have the option. GunGFuBanDa doubling down on Immortal production, which makes sense against Lurkers. They can do well in high numbers. But that isn't really our final form. We yoink in the Immortals one after the other. Even the Stalker, because why not? And now we're breaking through. And there's just not enough on the ground. We're picking GunGFuBanDa apart. He's on the retreat. He's trying to reinforce some more Immortals. 36 more Lings on the production tab. And all we have to do is deny the 5th over and over again. Just make sure the GunGFuBanDa cannot expand. But the storms are brutal. Especially on the Hydras. That's a force cancel on the Nexus. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Broodlords. Show us the Broods. Yeah, there we go. Let's go. 10 Broodlords on the way. That's the money shot we were waiting for, Pappy. We were waiting for the Broodlords. They're in production. What shoots up? We have 2 Stalkers and we have Storm. The Broodlord's about to morph in within range of the army. And there's just no answer. There's just nothing left. Tempests have begun immediately. We're getting to Tempest production. Oof. We're cashing Immortal. The Storms, I mean, hey, they take down the Hydras. But what about the Broods? More High Templar coming in. Storm is the only thing we can try to rely on. And there it is. GG gets called. Oh my god. Oh my god. The cameraman got killed. I was not expecting that. GG, well played. YoungYakov will take the 2-0. We'll give a lead to Platinum R8. GG, well played. Yeah. Congratulations, YoungYakov will take it. My condolences to GunGFuBanDa. Again, didn't play poorly whatsoever, but was a really rough game one up against the all-in. Bleeding out of base, did hold on for quite some time, but yeah, game one was definitely a rough one for GunGFuBanDa. Here in game two, likewise, he was able to take a fourth, able to survive the aggression at his third, able to build up towards SkyToss, but he was caught out on the map. He was caught out on the map. And once he bled out his first army, once he lost his carriers initially, he just wasn't able to recover from that position, wasn't able to recover from that point. GG. GG. And here we go, we're getting ready. Game one is going to be on Alkione. And yo, DNS rocking his jersey. Let's go. I think for the first time, I don't think we've seen DNS in the Berserker jersey, so I appreciate it. Likewise, Kelazhur rocking the R8 hoodie, question mark. Wait, no, is that a Home Story Cup hoodie? It is! Home Story Cup! You can see the logo, the Take TV logo. But here we go, sporting in the bottom of the corner, we have Kelazhur. Oh, the real Home Story Cup. Kelazhur for Platinum R8. And in the top right, we have DNS for Berserker eSports. Here we go. I need to PHR8. Okay, sorry, just updating the title. I think that works. It's okay. Sorry, I just messed in the title. So I ran out of space with the title to put in everyone's full name, like Kelazhur, DNS, plus Platinum R8 and Berserker. It's fine. I'll abbreviate. It's all good. We're settling into our TVP on Alkione, one of the more macro-oriented maps in the map pool. More known for its longer late gameplay. But we'll keep an eye on Kelazhur. Kelazhur has been quite aggressive in TVP. We've seen a lot of 3-base or even 2-base all-ins. A lot of aggression from Kelazhur, from Diego. So my eyes are definitely on him. As we're going for an economic opener, going for a rack expand. DNS so quick to try to punish this though. Tasing away at that SCV, forcing a second SCV onto low ground. Marine has arrived. And we do defend the natural. Probe will make it out. We'll race back home. And we're calming down. We are going to be calming things down here. Again, it was a single gas opener out of Kelazhur, so his factory was a little bit delayed. Or a little bit later. And from here, I'm curious how we follow this up. Likewise, DNS has tech options as well to go into Blink Stalkers or Phoenixes. I feel like traditionally we've seen a lot of Phoenix play out of DNS, but again, it's been a while since we've really seen him. A lot of that play was back last year when he was on Platinum Heroes. Now we have a new DNS, a Berserker DNS if you will, and it's going to be a Twilight Council opener instead. Opening up Blink Stalkers, a very safe way to open up. Blink is quite versatile. We can open up 2-gate Blink into a third for something more economic. We can open up 3-gate Blink and be more aggressive. Adept does shade in. We got a full scout of the main base. We force SCVs off the mineral line. Nice control out of Diego. Doesn't lose any workers, but a lot of lost mining time. Ooh, and one SCV goes down. Hellions have arrived. That was well worth it for DNS. Oh. Hello. As we're kind of going for a proxy starport. Okay, I was curious where the starport was because I didn't see it in the main base as the Adept was harassing. But a Hellion drop. Okay, you have my attention. I mean, talking about an aggressive opener. it's kind of a proxy. It's half a proxy. Now with our Hellion opener, we can see the DNS fully walls off of the natural. so he doesn't have to worry about a run by at least the natural base. He can split up his stalkers. Medevac does allow us to drop into the main. And is DNS ready for this? So we go, the drop has arrived. Stalker does spot the Medevac. And we're in position. Massive volleys going off. Medevac does unload just in time, but the Medevac goes down. Now 4 Hellions do one-shot probes. I mean 3 Hellions one-shot probes. 4 probes going down. They're lighting up. Oh my god, they are lighting up. 8 workers fall, and we're going to get even more in the natural. Ay, ay, ay. 11 probe kills. Can we get one more volley? We can. 14. Oh my god. 14 workers, almost an entire mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. That is well worth 4 Hellions and a Medevac. A very strong start here for Kelazhur, especially considering the DNS. He was ready for it. He was in position. He had a full wall off at the natural. He scouted the Medevac. He focused down the Medevac as well, but wasn't able to keep up with the Hellions. Ay, ay, ay. Back at home, all we have to do is defend. Tank siege is up. Bunker is done. The natural is solid. Yeah, there's no breaking the natural base. At the same time, Liberator into the main. That proxy starports, making use of itself. Not just with the Medevac, but also with the Lib. And DNS doesn't have the production to counterattack. Remember, it was 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink into a third. We do at least catch the starport. We get some damage done. But outside of this, again, DNS is expanding. Getting to a third base. Kelazhur's under no real threats. I mean, we could try to blink in, but there's a tank lying in wait in the main. Oh, DNS, no! Gets baited in. Massive tank shots to the face. Tank shots to the face. And Diego, he punishes this. 2 stalkers go down. Should only be 2. But that was a rough blink for DNS. Not what he was hoping for. And back at home, we're trying to get into +1, charge, Colossus production. We are macroing up, but Diego has a pretty big window. Basically, we're waiting for these upgrades. You can see Stim and Combat Shields are on the way. We have 3 tanks built up. And this move out is designed to hit the third and designed to knock it down. We can't really slow down the push. These 3 stalkers are so low. Okay, this is not an all-in. Kelazhur is expanding. I mean, he could go all. He could just pull the boys with this. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But he's looking further ahead. Liberator distracting in the main. Pulling back DNS's attention. Now, DNS does have 1 Colossus on the high ground. Shield batteries are in production. Scan does reveal this. And Kelazhur, how do we approach this? We rotate over towards the left-hand side. Tank does siege. First volley goes off. Within range of the Robo. Yeah, we are within range. Ooh, big volleys once again on the Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. This position is brutal. The Robo goes down. 1 Colossus is all we have left. Tanks are a bit exposed. The army gets baited out. These are slow lots. Not even charge finishes up just now, but just in time to kill 1 tank, but only the 1. GG gets called, and Kelazhur takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. That was a brutal start to the game. Again, the hero walls, like post-youth, and none of that. We are soon to settle in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, Kelazhur, for Platinum R8. And in the top left, we have DNS for Berserker eSports. Here we go. Now, I would not be opposed to another Twilight Council opener, but into a more gateway-heavy style. I'm talking 3-gate blink, maybe even 4-gate blink. So my eyes are definitely on DNS. We'll see what kind of tech we go with and how hard we commit to that tech as well. As we are walling off the Reaper Cliff. Likewise, Kelazhur with his racks back at home. No proxies, nothing too crazy. And you can see DNS immediately scouting. He does check the third base location. He's looking for proxies just in case. Being very careful, very secure. Does confirm he's safe and sound, at least at the linear third. And with this probe scout, he will confirm the positioning of the racks. We can see it's a double gas opener. Double gas opener, so game 1, Kelazhur was economic. Remember, he opened up racks into expand with 1 gas geyser. Here with double gas, should be racks into a factory, into a more aggressive start of the game. Now, with this factory, we can go into a reactor and go reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go for an earlier mine drop. We can go for faster cyclones. I'm curious where Kelazhur takes us. Okay, it's going to be Reaper first into reactor. Or I imagine reactor Reaper. Factory can get into Hellion production. There we go. We have the command center on the way, on location, so Kelazhur is not going for a one base all-in. It doesn't really strike me as too much of a one base all-in kind of player. Oh, and he's not going for the Hellion, he's going for an early Widow Mine. Okay. Okay, Kelazhur. My attention. Widow Mine's on the way. Starport as well. I'm curious if we go for a second Widow Mine behind this for a Widow Mine drop. Otherwise, we could go Widow Mine into Cyclone, into a bit of a like kitchen sink kind of drop instead. Yeah, there it is. Second Widow Mine's on the way. So a little bit more old school. It's going to be a mine drop opener out of Kelazhur. We rarely see those nowadays, just because of the nerf to the Widow Mine. Reaper dives in. We get a full scout of the main, and we get eyes on the Stargate. Okay, not quite what I was expecting, but it's going to be a Stargate Phoenix opener out of DNS. I was expecting more of this in game 1, but we're getting into it in game 2. Widow Mines are setting up out in the middle of the map. Oh. Phoenix is going to rally in! No shot! Mine shot goes off. Big connection on the Phoenix. It takes 2 shots to kill Phoenix, but that's a lot of damage already dealt. And there is a second Widow Mine out on the map. See the Marines, they're hunting that Phoenix, looking for it. Likewise, Cyclone ready in the main. And we do pull back, and we're on the hunt. We're chasing it down. Yeah, we do unload. The lockout is real, and it takes a couple more shots, but alas, we will survive. Phoenix does pull back in time. Widow Mines getting set up, pushing across the map. Kelazhur not slowing down. We have a Liberator behind this. He's committed. Is going to be committed. Medevac, ooh, going down. Mine shots going off. Phoenixes are so low. Widow Mines do burrow. Ooh, big connection. Adept goes down. We're down to 2 Adepts. Down to 1. 1 Adept remaining. We're still rallying across the map. Kelazhur does pull back. Did lose the Medevac. He has very limited micro potential. Widow Mines still resetting. Kelazhur consolidating his army. Second Widow Mine is now ready, looking like we're trying to bait it out with the Adept. We're unable to. A little bit mistimed. Good control of DNS. Likewise, Kelazhur pulls back. A very tense game. A very tense moment. We're trying to catch reinforcements, but we get caught out instead. A Phoenix goes down. Kelazhur is racing back. Second guessing himself a little bit. Not much of them to defend. The Phoenixes, they do catch SCVs. Catch a Marine, we catch an SCV. Immortal has arrived. I feel like DNS should have enough to defend at this point. Liberator into the main. Likewise, the mine shot goes off. Catching another Adept. Another mine shot. Ooh, big connection. Oh, we soften up the Stalkers. We focus them down one after the other. The Immortal is exposed, and we can lock it down. We're so close to the lock-on. Get a couple of hits in. Kelazhur backing off. We get 4 probe kills, and we defended. Whew. Okay, DNS has held. Did bleed out a lot of Stalkers in the process. We'll clean this up. Bit of an overextension here by Kelazhur. And what do we have at home to defend? The third base gets up and running. Back at home, we have a handful of Marines. Stim is not quite done. GNS has map control. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. Oh, wait, we're calming things down. Third TC is about to finish up by Kelazhur. He's not too far behind with his own third base timing. Economically, we're pretty neck and neck, which I want to say is in favor of the Terran. It's looking a little bit better here for Diego. Phoenix picking up an SCV. Stim is now done. With Stim, Kelazhur, he can now break free and expand and take a third base. Now it does pose a greater threat to the Phoenixes. We do have to babysit that Raven. Make sure it's kept safe. Units rotating around. Doesn't quite commit. Do see DNS shocking between the bases, catching another SCV. Does back away. And we haven't bled out a Phoenix in quite some time, so again, good control here from DNS. Able to maintain his Phoenixes. Able to pull back, even catch a Medivac. Oh! Gets it down to half HP. Another down as well. Doesn't get a kill, but does soften them up. Likewise, Colossus are amassing. The army is spotted. Kelazhur does have the army supply lead, does have those Ravens for the disables. We have shield batteries behind this. We have the overcharge. It's going to be a tight hold here for DNS. And here come those disables. We catch both Colossus. Nice force fields. But the army slips by. We slip in nonetheless. We focus down the sentries, the Phoenixes. But a third Colossus has arrived and we do hold. Whew. Oh my, calm down. But we do hold on. Yeah, that was a big moment for Kelazhur, but he did miss it. The force fields did buy time. The army slipped by, but with the help of the overcharge, there just wasn't enough DPS, not enough firepower. And now DNS, he's hit critical mass. He's up to 3 Colossus. Getting back into Phoenixes, and Kelazhur, he's forced into a longer game. There was an opportunity there to end it, but now he has to back off, he has to retreat, build up. Ghost Academy, second starport, Viking production. We have a game. we have a game, fam. We're settling into the mid game. We've survived all the aggression. We're calming things down, making 3 ghosts at a time. 4 CC. Now in production for Kelazhur. Now, because of the 4th base timings, I still want to favor Kelazhur. Again, typically in this dynamic, we want the Protoss to be upper base. Like, because of mules, especially Protoss players, they need to be upper base here, and we're kind of keeping pace. So the Terran player is keeping pace with the Protoss, which is scary. Because of that, I do favor Kelazhur's army as well. He's got plenty of Vikings. He's got EMP potential. The Ravens survive, so they can still disable as well. Kelazhur is still looking quite impressive here. Move out is spotted. We don't quite go for the EMPs yet. Ghost leading the charge. At the same time, War Prism's on the way. That can help with Zealot harass. Speaking of, Zealots do slip in. Bunker's on the way. Kelazhur pushing out. Does have enough of those disables. And there we go. We dive in. Yeah, all 3 Colossus get disabled. There's nothing left. Where's the splash damage? Charge, I'll say, rush into their death. Disables are about to run out, though. Overcharge barely keeps the Colossus alive. Whew. Big swipes going up. Yeah, Vikings being forced back. But DNS is still in danger. Still left vulnerable. Still left exposed. 1 Colossus goes down. And good kiting here from Kelazhur. 2nd Colossus falls. There's 1 left. Purification Nova does force back the army. But again, just the one Colossus. And Vikings, they come in to reinforce. There's no overcharge, not anymore. We land the EMP. As long as we can kite well, we can break through this Gateway army. Purification Nova is about to reset. Never goes off. Oh, we do barely stim away. Yeah, we avoid the shots, and Kelazhur, he's stimming on forward, breaking through the main army. Another Nova won't connect either. And there's just nothing left. Zealots are coming in to reinforce from behind, and I mean, they can help hold on. We can survive. We've lost so much. We've lost far too much at this point. And we only have one Robo producing. Forced to pick up, forced to get the hell out of here. Zealot run back across the map. But again, if we had a second Robo, we can, of course, get into our Colossus and Disruptors a little bit faster. Just one at a time, 3-3 on the way for the Terran. We retain our Ghosts. Now, at least we keep the 4. Like, the economy has been left untouched for DNS, so there is at least that going for him. Where DNS has the economy to rebuild, but does have to rebuild from scratch. Now, for the next push, I believe we should have 2 Colossus. It's gonna be close. The second Colossus, it's still halfway done. We need more time. EMP does connect with the Stalkers. We shut down some of the Vikings. Tim is threatened. Zealots into the main base. Damage is being done. SCVs are going down. Mine just, ooh, big connections on those Zealots. They'll take a massive hit to the face. Big warping into the main. Liberators have arrived. And there's no good answer to these libs. Not at the moment. And we're chasing back that Prism. Zealots are wreaking havoc. Able to catch 5 workers in the main. Prism goes down. +3 almost done. And we have gotten up to that second Colossus, third Colossus in production. But again, against all these Liberators, we need a heavier Stalker count. We need control of the low ground. But we don't really have that. Not with 2 Colossus. Would you catch the double jump? Oh my god! Good start. A very nice start here for DNS. 2 full Medivacs go down. Suddenly, Kelazhur's supply isn't looking as impressive. But DNS is out of position. The 4th base is under fire. We're going to be recalling within range of the libs. Uh-oh. That I'm not so sure about. Recall does come in. Colossus going down. The army forced the kite back. And that's not the recall we were hoping for. We're going to lose everything. And the Vikings do land. They shut down the Colossus. Liberators catching reinforcements. Just a really awkward recall. And with that, it looks like Kelazhur has broken the 4th base. GG gets called, and Kelazhur takes the 2-0 and does win it for Platinum R8. Why are we doing the Macarena? I don't understand. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, the dance moves, Papi. GG, GG, well played. Kelazhur doing the Macarena over DNS. And with that, it's going to be a 4 score here for Platinum R8. It is first to 4 in this best of 7, but we proved himself against his opponent. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have a Goblin for Platinum R8. And in the top left, we have BattleB for Berserker eSports. As we settle into this. We'll set up our title. Beautiful. And we're going to be calming down and settling into Goblin versus BattleB. Again, Goblin does have a very different approach to the game. He's known for his Phoenix play. You know, he is Roddy's firstborn. True. that is canon. at least that we know of, is Roddy's firstborn, and likewise has gotten a lot of influence from back in the day when he was on Team Roddy for quite some time. Has since kind of, you know, spread his wings and been able to join other teams, get more support. But that influence from the early days has and will always be there. So we'll keep an eye on that Stargate play. So we're just going to be walling off our Reaper Cliff. Probe scout across the map. We do check the triangular third base, making sure there is no proxy before moving out. Where's Dave Tessa for Berserker? True. Este Dave. I feel like he should be casting some of these WTO matches for his team, right? I know that Platinum Heroes, like they have Mousy every now and then casting Platinum Heroes matches. Would make sense, as BattleB is going to be opening up economically, going for a Rax Expand, delayed second gas, delayed factory for a faster CC on the high ground, not on the low ground. So a bit of a safer economic opener. Which you do have to go for on this map, just because of the short rush distance. If we opened up Zealot first, it would delay the expansion, or it would cause a bit of chaos early on. Cause a bit of havoc. So BattleB just playing it safe, following this up with a Cyclone, and that is a second Rax on the way. Interesting. BattleB going for a very aggressive build, which again, it makes sense on this map. You know, Ghost River, short rush distance by ground, very small map, very congested map as well. And we're opening up Stargate. Oh, bold move by Goblin. Okay, so with this second Rax in production, I imagine we're going to be seeing a third Rax. A third Rax before Starport. If that is the case, then this is going to be a hyper-aggressive build that leads into a stim timing that hits like a truck. We can also pull the boys with this and go all in. Adept does shade in! Yeah, big scout from a Goblin, does get into the main base, does get eyes on the second Rax, doesn't confirm the third Rax yet, but already gets a piece of the puzzle. As we pick off a couple of Marines, trading as efficiently as possible, tank production has begun. Now what I'm concerned about is that Stargate Phoenix production is not ideal, and there it is, you can see the production tab, third Rax is on the way, so very aggressive build here at BattleB. There's that third Rax before the starport. Phoenixes, they can struggle against early pushes like this just because they pick up one unit at a time. Phoenixes can be good when picking up high-tech units like tanks or picking off medevacs, but if we're up against that mass bio army, against mass marine, Phoenixes, they do very little. Do very little here. So I'm liking the build of choice by BattleB. We'll see how Goblin responds. We need Immortals. With this row opener, we're going to need, I imagine, Observer first to scout into an Immortal would be ideal. Just so we have some units to defend, just so we have an army. Meanwhile, there's that stim on the way. We spoke about it. There should be a stim timing from BattleB. The Immortal was in production for a second, but it looks like it was cancelled. Ooh, okay, this is risky. You can see the production tab. So an Immortal was started, we canceled the Immortal, we started the Observer, and we started a Bay. So instead of going for a safety Immortal opener, we're going for a faster Bay into Colossus. Phoenixes do confirm the build, they do get eyes on the third Rax. So it is risky to rush into the Colossus like this. But I believe we should have one Colossus to defend. I'm not so sure we'll have enough time to make the Immortal. Okay, there we go. Immortal's on the way. Okay, Immortal first. Immortal first. The Observer will spot the move out. Now, what I'm curious about is whether we pull the boys. I'm curious if this is an all-in or just some aggression and some pressure and then we expand behind it. As we're up to 3 tanks, 4 tanks on the way, we do on siege. And I believe we're pushing. Yeah, and here we go. We pull some of the boys. Not all of them. Some of the boys are being pulled. Phoenixes do catch reinforcements. A couple of Marines are going to be going down. SCVs as well. Good pickups with those Phoenixes, but here comes the main army. And we can force field the ramp. And it's so narrow. Massive force field. We cut the way in half. Marines are going down. We do delay the push. A very good start for Goblin. And that's why it's so risky going up this ramp. And the Phoenix is also able to pick off Marines. Oof. And now we transition. Starport's on the way. eBay's on the way. BattleB, he's backing off. Is forced to back off. For a moment. Still rallying. But BattleB's working on that next step. Scans ahead of time, pushing up the ramp. We don't have a force field, but we do force the siege. Decent tank volleys. The tank volleys on the army, baiting the army out into the open. Tank's going to be sieging. Do get some nice damage on the army here, but alas, Goblin doesn't overcommit. Pulls back. Still a very tense moment between these players. BattleB can't afford to lose these tanks. Speaking of, we lift up one, we lift up two. Oh! One tank, second tank goes down. Yeah, very nice defense out of Goblin and even punishing the move out. Likewise, does overextend with some Phoenixes. Does bleed one out. But in the aftermath of this aggression, I have to give the edge to Goblin. He didn't take any economic losses. He didn't lose his Immortal or Colossus. He's getting his third base. He punishes the tanks. And BattleB just now begins his third TC. So again, that was almost best case scenario for Goblin. Now we're calming things down. BattleB forced to build up. And the Goblin's soon to be getting into his triple Colossus. He's going to have critical mass soon. Can now focus on his Gateway army. Focus on map vision, map awareness. Pieces once again dipping in. Catching an SCV. Not getting too much more. Ooh, so we do have to be careful. The Phoenix is getting very low. But they still survive. Yeah, now BattleB just establishing his third. Getting into the mid game. What I will say is that worker counts wise, we're actually holding our own. I would say I give the economic edge to BattleB. He's built up to 4 tanks once again. He's got 4 tanks set up at the third. He's going to full scout of the main. Confirm the ghost, the timing. And the catch Marines, another tank as well. I said it before, he is a Roddy boy. He was born and raised in the air as a Phoenix. And with these Phoenixes catching an insane amount of damage there, was that 4 or 5 Marines, a tank, dragging back the army. Very impressive damage. And throughout all this, Goblin building up to a 4th Colossus? Oh my god. That I was not quite expecting. That is so much firepower here. 4 Colossus, mass charge. We're going for the tanks. The tanks are exposed. Ooh, we don't quite commit. Scan reveals the army. BattleB getting ready for it. BattleB getting set up. Somehow more Marines get caught out. Goblin is just always looking for the opportunity to just lift up whatever unit he can. These Phoenixes have done well. Archons are morphing in, they can tank some tank shots. Sensor tower is done. Now, pushing into the siege line is still not going to be easy for the Protoss. Prism gets in, going for a big warp in. Goblin is maxed out. Ooh, and we just barely deny the warp in. Goblin doesn't commit. Both players maxing out. Goblin has map control. 2 more robots on the way. I wouldn't be opposed to a fleet beacon and a second Stargate instead. I mean, they both have their place. May as well go for all of it, to be honest. But with 2 more robots, it means that once we bleed out some units, we can get into disruptors. We can replace these Colossus if a fight goes wrong. But Goblin is committing to a ground army, and we have missed this rotation. No sense now, no vision. Rocks are being knocked down, and we go straight for the natural. Tanks forced to reposition, and we're going right in. Zealots into natural, tanks are late to siege. Massive Colossus shots. Massive swipes on the army. We do pick off 3 of these Colossus though. Oh my god, the Vikings. The Vikings go ham. The Phoenixes weren't quite there to defend. Not the worst fight from BattleB, bleeding out only 8 SCVs. Goblin rotating around. I don't blame him for committing to that fight, but he did bleed out a lot of Colossus. Now we're getting into disruptors. Goblin rotating around. Massive warp in into the natural. Goblin is getting into disruptors. Another Colossus getting low. You can see Goblin there, he shook his head. I mean, again, there was a big opportunity for him. I think it was just caught off guard. I was caught off guard by the Vikings as well. I just wasn't not quite expecting that like angle from BattleB. And the Vikings just went to town on those Colossus. Now Goblin. He's kind of lost his edge. BattleB settling into 4 bases. +1 air attack is on the way. 2/2 as well. Plenty of ghosts. Scan reveals the disruptors. And we should soon be beginning Liberator production. Once the 4th base gets up and running, we can head in that direction. For Fusion Core and Libs. Until then, it's on BattleB to keep up with the rotations of Goblin. Still no Stargate, still no Fleet Beacon. Never goes up. Rocks are being knocked down. Still not quite committing. No reaction! Ooh, massive connections. Cheeky move out of Goblin. But BattleB was not quite paying attention. Was focused elsewhere. We got some decent overs once again on the Marauders. More Nova's going off. Goblin slipping back into the natural. Does get past some. Yeah, EMP was brutal. Got past some of the Vikings, but gets shut down. BattleB has been a wall against that Prism. Javier Nova's going off. Oh, but those tank positions are just so brutal. Yeah, the Phoenixes are being cleaned up. The Colossus goes down as well. Goblin just unable to break this entrenched position of BattleB. And Goblin has been bleeding out a lot, attempting to do so. Like, BattleB has been able to fight on his terms, and you can see the frustrations there of Goblin. Taking a lot of tank shots to the face. Disruptors are caught out as well. No! We catch it. No, just 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptors. Massive pig loss. 4 disruptors go down. We do land a connection. That was a massive fight in favor of BattleB. Ay. Now we have Sky Toss. Now we have 3 Stargates on the way. Soon to be a Fleet Beacon, but this feels late. This does feel a little bit too late. BattleB pushing out. Struggling against some of these Zealots. They do get damage done. A solid kiting here from BattleB. Goblin attempting to get ready for Sky Toss. We catch the final disruptor. We come in for a flank. We shut down the prism. 3 more disruptors coming in to reinforce. Nova's grazing the army. Catching more zealots. Tanks are moving out. Goblin mass expanding. And it looks like we have caught the tanks. The tanks are so low. Well, BattleB does not back off. Trying to push forward. Forced back once again by the zealot reinforcements. That's a lot of zealots. Goblin, can we catch out this army? We get 1, we get 2. 2 tanks go down. Ghost as well. A big overextension by BattleB. Goblin is fighting back. This is still very close between these players. There have been good moments. But BattleB gets caught out. The base will fall. The final tank as well. Goblin can still take this. Good target firing. No more zealots left. Goblin has to retreat. Cannot fight this head on, not without zealots. As we catch both disruptors. Solid control there from BattleB, catching both of them. Pulls back, still 3 disruptors being made at a time. We have 4 Stargates, but I believe we haven't made the fleet beacons, so there's no Sky Toss. And Goblin doesn't have the money for it. Doesn't have the money. Does catch medevacs. 2 medevacs go down. Decent purification over. Ooh, and they will connect. Not able to focus them down in time. Massive connections. Goblin does take the supply lead. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, again, it's been a very chaotic couple of minutes here. With these frantic fights in the center of the map. And we're going for the center base once again. BattleB overstimmed. And it looks like Goblin has control of this base. We stim on in. Plenty of zealots, plenty of charge lots. Focus on the medevacs. GG gets called. It just becomes too much to handle, and Goblin takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A bit of a roller coaster ride of emotions there. It was very back and forth. There were moments for Goblin, there were moments for BattleB. Dave. As we are settling in and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have Goblin for Platinum R8. And in the bottom right, we have BattleB for Berserker eSports. Here we go. Yeah, this is our second broadcast of the day. We were casting a Brazilian tournament earlier, like 7 hours ago. Oh, sorry, I say 7 at this point. 10 hours ago. It's been a while. I did have a nap in between. Have like a 4-hour nap. Now we're setting into WTL. A good way to end the night. We'll see, the pressure is on at BattleB here. Can we deny the perfect sweep of Platinum R8? Doesn't happen too often. Doesn't happen too often in WTL, like the 6-0s. And again, like, so many of these games were so close. Even game 1 between these two could have definitely been in favor of BattleB. We saw GunGFuBanDa earlier, expressing some frustrations in his series against YoungYakov. He also had opportunities. Likewise, so did DNS against Kelazhur. But for now, we're settling in. It's going to be a double gas opener. Be a double gas opener out of BattleB, going for a faster factory. I see all the Berserker boys in the chat. Kelazhur, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. I saw you streaming last night as well. Sure, Kelazhur. I saw you were learning, papi. Let's go. As BattleB does go for the reactor first, into Reacted Reaper. Do have a Reaper opener. I'm leaning along the lines of Reaper Hellion, but we'll see where BattleB takes us. Actually, Reapers are on the way. We've got Hellion production behind this. A little more aggressive start from BattleB. Meanwhile, Goblin this time is not opening up Stargate, is opening up Twilight Council. Gonna be for Blink. Let's go. Gonna be a Blink-based opener. We'll keep an eye on how many gateways get thrown down. Meanwhile, initially, it's gonna be BattleB with the map control, with additional Reapers and Hellions. The goal here is to try to break into a mineral line. We can see the Goblin is throwing down his wall, setting up his Zip City to defend, to survive. The wall has begun. BattleB gets eyes on this. Pokes in. Does confirm. Of course, with Reapers, you can throw down your KDA charges. You can knock units out of the wall and rush in anyway. It's a risky maneuver. It will cost you a couple of units in the process. But BattleB could go for the dive. Speaking of, KDA charges thrown down. We do pull back in time. Goblin does hold. And sure, BattleB has map control, but he hasn't been able to get much damage done with it yet. So far, the defenses are holding. We can threaten the pylon. And not much else. Reaper goes down. Goblin does defend. We do have 2 more gateways on the way. I believe that is a 3-gate setup. 3-gate blink. If I'm not mistaken. With these additional gateways, Goblin is looking for map control. Looking to be a little bit more assertive. Sorry, my apologies. This is a 4-gate blink. Okay. Hyper aggression out of the Goblin. 2 gateways already done. 2 more on the way. We can do the math. So 4-gate blink here from Goblin. I'm not too fond of BattleB being too active on the map against this. Getting into tanks, getting into banshees. We do catch the adepts. And the sword count not really where we want it to be, not yet. Tank does siege. BattleB trying to force to engage. The stalker count getting higher. BattleB is getting cornered. We dive on the tank. The tank is going to be going down. Yeah, massive pick off. We pick up the tank, the Hellions. We do bleed out a couple of stalkers, but for a tank, this has been worth it. Yeah, BattleB, he's just locked out in the open. There's no way out of this. The move command. Marines are going down. And now we're going for the counterattack. We have a Warp Prism. We have 4 gateways. We can reinforce. We can commit. And BattleB, no bunkers are ready for this. He lost a tank. He's down to 1. The Banshees can help. But Observer's on the way. Observer is on the way. BattleB in a lot of trouble. Give us a couple of seconds. The bunker will finish. The bunker barely is denied. Additional stalkers coming in. We force the cancel. And from here we can rotate into the main. Or even commit into the natural base. We're committing. We dive on the tank. The tank goes down. The Banshee as well. There is no cloak. The juggling is solid here from a Goblin. Boys are being pulled. And then we're getting out of hand. We're getting out of control. We rotate around. We avoid the tank on the high ground. Bunker will not finish. We have to pull the boys once again. And this is just a really, really brutal setup here for BattleB. Being aggressive and pushing out against 4-gate blink stalker of all things. He had no idea. He didn't know. GG gets called and Goblin will take the series 2-0. And that'll be a clean sweep for Platinum R8. GG. Well played. A big win here for Platinum R8. Again, I would have said that these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched, and a lot of these games are close. Like Goblin versus BattleB game 1 was so close. Even matches between GunGFuBanDa and YoungYakov, even between Kelazhur and DNS. The games were close, but still went heavily in favor of Platinum R8, and with that, GG. GG, well played. My condolences to Berserker eSports. Again, they have a solid lineup, and we have seen them bring down some even greater teams, but not this time, not tonight. GG. GG, well played. Again, I hope the Berserker boys aren't too discouraged. Again, they've looked solid against other teams, against other players, so I expect to see more of them in the coming weeks. We're still halfway through. Fun fact, this is round 6, and there are 11 rounds. We're just over the halfway mark. There are 11 rounds in World Team League in the round robin stage. And this is a big win for Platinum Heroes. Hold on. World Team League. I'm having a look at the standings. Trying to have a look at the standings here. Okay, so we have... Oh, this is last year. I was like, what are these teams? I didn't understand. But looking at the standings, we have Platinum R8 actually in the middle of the pack. Berserker eSports just behind them as well. Very close to Platinum Heroes, or to Platinum R8. And yeah, the middle of the pack is still very much so up in the air. It looks like we have a couple of confirmed teams, like Team Vitality. They're already at the very top of the standings, and they are confirmed to make it through. But a lot of these other rankings here are still up in the air. And again, still 5 more weeks of World Team League. Now, I should emphasize that we don't have WTL this week. We don't have World Team League this weekend. The reason for that, oh, that's from earlier this morning. that scoreline is from the Brazilian tournament we casted earlier. But we don't have WTL this weekend. Why not? Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is going to be a 3-day event over in the land of Europe, over in the land of Europa. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be an amazing time. I think they just finished announcing players. Have they announced everyone? It is going to be 24 players, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be 24 players, and I think they have finished announcing... yeah, they have finished announcing their players, their lineups, and we're going to have players from the Americas, from Europe, even from Korea as well. Not too many Koreans. I think it's only Gumiho and Ryung, so only some Korean Terran players. We're going to be lacking some of the other heavy hitters, though. Interesting. I want to quickly go over this, actually. I haven't been able to go over the... to go over too much of the brackets yet. Here we go. Again, this season there were no qualifiers. No qualifiers for Home Story Cup. It is purely an invitational. Bam. Okay, there we go. So these are invited players. We have 4 Jumi. We have a lot of Protoss. We have 4 Jumi, Geralt, Harstem, Hydra, Holy Hit, Mana, Petit Drogo, Sebestus, Showtime, Skillus, and Trigger. Likewise, Terran, we have Clem, Cuckoo, Gumiho, Hero Marine, Kelazhur, Maja, Ryung, and from Zerg, we have Alazer, Eon Blue, Fiant, Mixu, Spazzy Mazzy, and we have Euthermal as random. It says random. Euthermal has been competing as random for a couple of months, so I think this is just... I think Euthermal by default is considered random, but I'm pretty sure nowadays he's only competing as Terran, so we might have to fix up the Wikipedia page. We'll fix this up. I might just like message Mark about it. But yeah, an interesting lineup here. I say interesting. I'm a little bit surprised that there's no Lambo. I understand that invites are limited, but especially because the event is in Germany. That's why we have like 4 Jumi. That's why we have Eon Blue. That's why we have Hero Marine, Moja, even some more like amateur German players, just because they're local to the scene. So that's why I thought that Lambert was going to be a sure thing. right. It makes sense. Maybe he was invited and he declined. Like maybe he's busy this weekend. It's possible. But yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that Lambo isn't here. Likewise, we're missing a lot of the top tier Zerg players in Europe. Like this, so there's no Lambo, there's no Raynor, there's no Cyril. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Laser. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the Laser to represent Zerg getting out of the group stage into the playoffs. From the side of Protoss and Terran, that's where things are looking a little bit stronger, especially considering I just mentioned the only Korean players invited were Korean Terran players as well. So you have the Korean Terrans, and you have Hero Marine, and you have Clem. We're missing Spirit. Spirit isn't here when it comes to the top EU Terrans, but like, you know, you got Clem, you got Hero Marine, you got Gumiho, you got Ryung. We have some really strong Terran representation in this tournament. From the side of Protoss, this is where we get our American representation. There's no Scarlet, right? There's no Scarlet, there's no Estrella, but there is Trigger at least. There is Trigger, and I guess Kelazhur kind of counts. I say kind of, he's been living in Europe for a while, for a long time. But yeah, Kelazhur and Trigger as the America's representatives. Likewise, wish them the best. It is great to see them being invited. They're going to be able to travel over and represent. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I anticipate a lot of TVTs, not gonna lie. I anticipate there's gonna be more than one TVT here in this playoff bracket, which is gonna be interesting. I mean, I always love TVTs with Ryung and Gumiho involved. I always do love it. So actually, that's an interesting one. If we're gonna be heavily if the playoff bracket is heavily reliant on TVTs, Gumiho and Ryung are actually really interesting players here, because I would say that Gumiho and Ryung have some of the best TVT in Korea. Like, I would say better than Kure and Beyond. Like, specifically for the TVT matchup. Like, these are some TVT snipers. So that is interesting. Yeah, Clem and here, their TVT is going to be put to the test. Obviously, respect to Showtime. Like, Showtime, of course, is coming as the strongest Protoss player in the group in the event itself. Trigger likewise has been looking good. I can't overlook. I overlooked Skillus, Nikita, Bappy. True, Skillus has also been popping off. For those that were watching Stars War 11, Skillus looked like a beast in Stars War 11, and I don't want to say he underperformed at DreamHack Dallas, but I think a lot of people expected a little bit more from him, especially after Stars War. So my eyes are definitely going to be on Skillus here. I've become more and more of a Skillus fan over the past couple of years, so I'm definitely looking forward to see how Nikita does in this bracket. Likewise, Trigger, if you saw recently his tweet regarding SC2 Safe House, Trigger was also talking about how he's feeling like he played the best StarCraft in his life over that weekend, and it's merely a week later, so hey, he's also looking in form. Also looking to be in form. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on mainly Skills and Trigger. Like, my expectations are already set for Showtime. Like, I already expect like good things from Showtime, but I expect like maybe greater things from Trigger and Skillus, just compared to how they usually perform. So that's why like I'm mainly gonna be paying attention to them and to see how well they play, how well they perform, to see if they like exceed expectations basically. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. The captain is there, of course, Harston. Yeah, gonna be interesting. Gonna be an interesting tournament. Gonna be a lot of fun over the weekend. I see in the chat, Lambo's on vacation this weekend. Oh, okay. What event is this? Home Story Cup. This weekend. Oh, hello, KJ. Hello. I see one player from us. Let's go. But yeah, I thought that something would have been up like that. So thanks for letting us know. So apparently Lambo's on vacation, so that's why he's not there. It's an unfortunate time to schedule a vacation, like Home Story Cup. You know, it's a tournament in your local country as well, in your own country. So it is a bit of a shame that we won't be seeing Lambo there. But there's going to be some big opportunities for some of these other players as well, definitely. Geralt also has been performing quite well as well. Geralt, of course. I'm a little bit surprised that Spirit wasn't invited, right? There's no Spirit. Christiana has been on fire. There's no Christiana either. But I guess we have limited invites, right? Like we can't invite everyone. We can't get everyone involved. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of good fun. I'm sure. So look forward to it. It's gonna be this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Home Story Cup 25 is gonna be amazing. We won't be a part of that broadcast, but we might go over some of the replays of the group stage, like later on next week or something, like the week after the event itself. So do look forward to it. Otherwise, we're done for the night. Otherwise, we are wrapping up. We just wrapped up with WTL. Catching up. I love your direct. Always see you in the morning. While Job's here from Chile. Oh, gracias, papi, gracias. Ojalá que todo te va bien. Hopefully everything goes well for you. Gracias, papi. Gaha, gaha. But with that, we're done. With that, we are wrapping up. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. And we're going to be back tomorrow. I believe tomorrow's broadcast is going to be a catch-up stream of... Let me just double check here. Tomorrow is going to be a catch-up stream of DreamHack. So in less than 24 hours, we're going to be live. I believe in 21 hours time, we're going to be live with the DreamHack Dallas Open bracket. For those that are maybe unaware, we were live casting DreamHack Dallas. We were one of the, I think we were the B stream. No, sorry, the C stream. That's it. We were the C stream during DreamHack Dallas, and we were covering the open stage and the knockout bracket. But a lot of the open stage and a lot of the open bracket wasn't actually broadcasted. We could only do so much casting it as a side stream, and there were so many matches happening at once. A lot of those games didn't occur or didn't get broadcasted live, so we do have our hands on the replays. The replay pack is public, and we're going to be catching up with some of those matches from the early rounds, just to, you know, see what happened there, just to bear witness to some of those amazing matches that did occur. And that is going to be what we're going to be casting over the next couple of days. Because the Home Story Cup, there's no WTL and there's no Kung Fu Cup, so our schedule is open, and we could take some days off. we could take some days off and just watch Home Story Cup. But because we have some days off, I want to take advantage of that and go over some of DreamHack replays. So that's the plan. That is going to be the plan over the weekend, going over some DreamHack Dallas replays. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and enjoy Home Story Cup. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego, papi, hasta luego.